In order to be a human, you have to overcome resistance. It happens first thing in the morning when you get out of bed. You know, we talk negatively about what an ego is, and we trash it a lot, especially in spiritual circles. But the reality is, the ego gets you out of bed in the morning. It is the part of you that's like, I'm going to set an alarm, I'm going to wake up at 6. There are a lot of books these days about the healthy habits that we can engage in, but sometimes what's hard to get to that step is the motivation or the desire to get to engaging a habit and recognize that it might be a healthier habit than all the other habits combined. So if you're the type of person who wants to read more but is not terribly excited about reading, then I've got a book for you. I found it years ago and it's served me many times. It's accessible enough that I read it in a day. I've read it numerous times over the years, and I can't say enough about it because of its to the core, to the heart, to the ethos, the beingness of resistance. It's a book by Stephen Pressfield, who wrote this, which is about the battle at Thermopylae. You may not know what that is, but if you've ever heard of the movie 300, that is the same battle that this book is based upon. This book is about resistance. But any creative act that you've ever been involved in, chances are, if you've finalized it or come through a very difficult push in order to realize it, you've dealt with resistance. And that's not just for a creative act so much as it is for every act in the day-to-day. Stephen Pressfield, in his book, he does it in such a great way because he shares how resistance kicked his butt, how it won for decades, how it cost him marriages and loved ones, how it moved him across the country numerous times, sometimes sacrificing who he wanted to be just for a little bit of money so that he could sort of satisfy that itch to scratch the desire within him to write. And that was his own personal journey, but you know, everybody's got their own personal journey. So whatever yours is, and this is a beautiful thing about this book, is whatever your journey is, this book has an encouragement for you to get out of your own way. Years ago, in another life, sometimes what it feels like another life, I studied acting, and that after a while, I realized what I was studying wasn't so much acting and the science of it and the art of it, so much as I was studying the present moment. And this book is about engaging boundaries to create energy. We often perceive the engagement of boundaries as limiting actually the creative process or the practice of bringing or birthing something into the world, and it's just not true. Having a clear, delineated time for your creative act creates space and energy for other things to find you in your life. You start to engage the muscle. You go to the gym and you work it. Saying no is a muscle that you have to practice. You have to get used to saying no so that you can say yes. I find, some of the time I've practiced saying no 3 times so that I could give myself a really great yes. As I've aged up and I've had more experience and more things involved in my life, I've realized I actually have to say no a lot more than that. And it's unfortunate because it costs me time with people that I would love to engage with, people that I care about, but I know that they're happy for me and I'm happy for me by the freedom I have in my creative endeavors being realized into the world. And if you and I are sitting here right now, this is because I said no. If you find the presence of mind to say no, and remember, no is a complete sentence. No is enough. You have no need to defend your desire to say no to an invitation, to just respectfully say, my attention is otherwise engaged. You don't have to say all those words. You can just say no. It's enough. It's an active component in becoming who you are. There is a point where it can become detrimental in that perhaps your needs have become more than the needs of the people around you or people who are dependent upon you, and that's just not sustainable. And if that's the case, then it's time for an ego check. This book is an ego check. It is a 3-part sort of exploration of what it means to be a dreamer, but not just a dreamer in the staring off into space, thinking about the wonders of the world. Stephen Pressfield does a great job of walking us through some of the practices that he uses in order to invite support. He calls them the muses. I call them spirit. He has 3 sections that the book is divided into, and kind of like the phases of resistance. Part of it has a spiritual tinge to it, and I like that. He uses a word that I don't have a great resonance with, but that doesn't detract me as much as it used to, and I'm grateful for that. You take away one small thing from it, at the very least. If you're fortunate, like I am, maybe you'll have taken 3 small things away, and yet those small things are the building blocks of a greater thing, a bigger thing. And so as you move forward in your practice, as you move forward in your process, as you start to divest yourself from outcome objectives and more into process, the process is its own reward. And this is a book that will support that. So The War of Art, Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Stephen Pressfield. He has a number of them now that he's expanded upon, but this really is the gem. And it's the starting point. It's the building block. Hi, my name's Ramesh, and if you've made it this far, congratulations and thank you. It's my dream that this information is valuable to you, and if you found it to be so, it would mean a great deal for you to click on the like button, to click on the subscribe button, to use the comments as a vehicle for sharing what you'd like to know more about. I am fascinated by the places that human potential, science, and spirit intersect. So if that's of interest to you, then chances are we have a lot to talk about, and I look forward to sharing so much with you. Many blessings, be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next video.